Yeah, we can start again.
Yes,
Who?
sir. Sir, yes, sir. It's already live on Facebook. So now, organizer, please announce the serial number 1, and then the person that was the 5-number serial who was interrupted, the internet was disconnected. So then again, pronounce his name. The serial 5, firstly 1 and then 5.
Serial number 1. May present your presentation. Serial number 1. Arunno Hussain Saki may present your presentation.
আছে তো
Serial number 1. Arunno Hussain Saki may present your presentation.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Respected judges and poster presenters, I am Arunno Hossain Saqib from Dhaka, Bangladesh, presenting gender-based violence and justice for the rape victim poster. Dear audience, Bangladesh is a South Asian country where gender-based violence is a phenomenon deeply rooted in gender inequality and continues to be one of the most notable human rights within the society. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, today I would like to draw your focus on gender-based violence and justice for the rape victims in Bangladesh context. In our society, most people think that gender-based violence focuses on violence against women and girls. However, it can be happened to both men and women. The most common types of gender-based violence are physical, psychological, sexual, domestic, economic, and many more. If we look at the statistics, 97.4% women were victims of domestic violence. 67% violence are physical violence. Not only women, but also 3.7% men in rural Bangladesh raped at least another man. Moreover, 20 boys endured sexual harassment until September 2020. With this regard to this specific statistic, the theme color of my poster is orange to respect the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. Now, rape, a gross human rights violence in Bangladesh, 4 women raped every day on average. So, what can we do? That's why I would like to say, be aware Bangladesh. In my poster, I showed several emergency numbers which may help anyone to get help from the government. Please make call 109 for violence against women. Call 1098 for children helpline. Call 6430 for free government legal aid services and call 999 for any type of emergency. All we want is peace. No more gender-based violence. In this regard, I have 8 recommendations. In the first part on my poster, the recommendations for gender-based violence. First, increase sexual and domestic empowerment education for the children. Second, self-defense education for the girls. Third, equal opportunity at workplace for all gender. Fourth, increase awareness to eradicate the social stigma about gender-based discrimination. On the second part, the recommendations for ensuring justice for the rape victims. First, not only punishment of rapists, but also compensation for the victims. Second, government should provide mental services to the rape victims. Third, male rape in Bangladesh should be recognized. Fourth, marriage with the rapist should be stopped forever. Lastly, I want to say stop gender-based violence and stop rape. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you. Now, serial number 5, Rubayak Al-Mahim, Faiza Kamal Munmun may present their presentation.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning to everyone.
Dear participants, please have a patience. We will
Okay.
let you know. Just we are waiting to see all our judges are here or not.
Okay, for your kind information regarding all the participants, the serial number 1 that was presented now, that is not marked again. So that was first time that was done. It was just for the, it was the clarification if some participant have some problem or maybe will say that it's injustice, but it's the justice. That's why we, for the live and for the grand finale, for that reason, but that is not marked again. And as you see, one of judges also missing. So it is just in show, okay? So yes, so there, I just don't want to make any confusion here. So yes, our madam, Christian Richardson madam is disconnected for a while and she will join us soon. It will not going to take much time.
Hello, শুনছি?
Yes, ma'am, yes, we can hear you. Dear organizer, ma'am is with us, so you can now present.
Serial number 5, Rubayak Al-Mahim, Faiza Kamal Munmun may present their presentation.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning to all. It's me, Rubayat Al-Mahim, along with Faiza Kamal Munmun, are going to present this poster. Gender equality is one of the core objectives of UN Declaration of Human Rights. But when a person is exploited based on their sexual orientation, is called gender-based violation or GBV. Rape is also a kind of GBV. In this poster, we tried to show GBV on females and transgender. Later, we showed an overview of rapes in Bangladesh, and finally tries to give some probable solution on this. Now, what is gender-based violence? As I said earlier, it's a violence directed by gender. The key forms of violence, as you can see in the poster, are 4 types: physical, economical, sexual, and psychological. However, when we heard the word gender-based violence, our brain mainly pictures violence against women because it's happening mostly. 1 in 3 women have experienced sexual violation in their lifetime. And if we see the current this year's statistics in Bangladesh, despite being an COVID situation, we will be surprised. 1,349 women are raped so far. 235 women are victim of femicide, and the rate of child marriage is higher than 2019 by 68%. Besides this, cyber harassment, genital mutilation, and human trafficking are also part of this. Now I'm going to talk about transgender people. Their rights are often overlooked and ignored for their gender. They are deprived of education, they are deprived of employment for their gender, and the verbal and sexual abuse are not reported rightly, and they are not considered as a human being, I think. Now the overview of rape in Bangladesh. This is a social curse, and in this recent year, if we see, there is a graph on my poster, and there is the data that in the 5 years the rate of rate has been increasing rapidly, and the unreported case are almost 4 times higher than reported case, and every 6 hours 1 woman are raped. That is the problematic part. Now my partner will give the solution on this. Thank you.
এক্সকিউজ মি, আমরা ফাইজাকে শুনতে পাচ্ছি না।
1 minute left.
He is not audible. If the organizer can wait for a while, please.
Tessa, could you try disconnecting your headphones? Maybe that might work.
In that case,
Faiza, we cannot hear you.
in
We
that
cannot
case,
hear you. Please, you may continue your presentation. The another teammate, please. We have time shortage.
is the time is over?
Hello.
I think her headphone got disconnected. That's why she's not audible.
Okay. Okay.
শুনছি ফাইজাকে শোনা যাচ্ছে না।
Yes, ma'am. Maybe she is disconnected, or maybe her earphone is not working, so we cannot hear us. Organizer, is there any time left for this team?
Time's up. Serial number 5, Onunno Mihzabin Esha, may I present your presentation?
এক্সকিউজ মি, আমাদের সিরিয়াল নাম্বারে প্রবলেম হচ্ছে। রুবায়াত
Sir, we have same position. We already shared the serial number, sir.
আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড,
Yes, sir.
আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড।
Yes, sir. Organizer, please announce the name again.
Onunno Mihzabin Esha, may I present your presentation? Serial number 5, Onunno Mihzabin Esha, may I present your presentation? Serial number 5, Onunno Mihzabin Esha, may I present your presentation?
Somebody texted in the WhatsApp group that she couldn't enter. The link isn't working.
It's because of her
I'm so
problem.
sorry,
Because,
I can join.
yes, exactly. I'm accepting you for lots of time, but you are disconnecting again and again. Okay. I'm accepting
yes,
you.
ma'am, I'm so
Aronna
sorry.
Hossain, yes. I can see. I admit you for several times, but I saw that you are disconnected again and again. Yes, organizer, please announce the name again, please.
Serial number 5, Onunno Mihzabin Esha, may I present your presentation?
Thank you, everyone. Hello, I am Anuna Mizab Asia. Today, we all are here to talk about gender-based violence and justice for the rape victims. So, without any delay, let's get started. At first, I would like to talk about gender-based violence. According to UNHCR, gender-based violence refers to harmful acts directed at an individual based on their gender. It is rooted in gender inequality, the abuse of power, and harmful norms. It is a serious violation of human rights and a life-threatening health and protection issue. Gender-based violence is a global pandemic that affects 1 in 3 women in a lifetime. 35% of women worldwide have experienced either physical or sexual intimate partner violence and non-partner sexual violence. Globally, 7% of women have been sexually assaulted by someone other than a partner. Globally, as many as 38% murders of women are committed by an intimate partner. 200 million women have experienced female genital mutilation. South Africa is said to have the highest statistics of gender-based violence in the world. I would like to say the current scenario of my country. According to Bangladesh Bureau of Statistics and the United Nations Population Fund, over 70% of married women in Bangladesh have faced violence. Bangladesh Human Rights Group Ain ও Shalishi Kendro reported that at least 235 women were murdered by their husband or in-laws in just the first 9 months of 2020. According to another prominent Bangladeshi human rights group, Adjudicator, between January 2001 and December 2019, over 3,300 women and girls were murdered over dowry dispute. Sexual and gender-based violence is a hidden consequences of COVID-19 pandemic as communities around the world are forced to stay at home. Women and girls are at the heightened risk of domestic violence, intimate partner violence, child abuse, and other forms of gender-based violence. Rape is the third-rated part of gender-based violence, and justice for the rape victim has become synonymous with punitive state punishment, though it is still a far cry. In the most countries with data available on rape, less than 40% of rape victims seek help. Less than 10% seek assistance from law enforcement. Punishment delayed as thousands of cases awaited trial due to a huge dearth of forensic labs, fast-track courts, and investigators. Without this, poor police response, lack of proper medical documentation, low conviction rate are responsible for this. Especially, especially the Asian country, victims have to go to a long way for justice. Now I would like to talk about Bangladesh. Bangladesh has strong laws regarding gender-based violence and rape. In 2000, partnership with the Danish government, Bangladesh inaugurated the multi-sectoral program on violence against women and developed a comprehensive national action plan. Bangladesh also enacted the Nari ও Shishu Nirjatan in 2000, the Acid Offence Prevention Act 2002, the Acid Control Act 2002, the Domestic Violence Prevention and Protection Act 2010, and exclusively Nari ও Shishu Nirjatan দমন আইন Amendment Ordinance 2020. So that's all about my presentation. Nothing to say more. Thank you everyone to give me the opportunity, and thank you NILS Bangladesh.
Now, the serial number 6, Prashanno Ghatani, may present your presentation. Serial number 6, Prashanno Ghatani, may present your presentation.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, you are able to.
Honorable adjudicators, fellow presenters, and organizers. Good morning. I'm Prothom Alo. I'm from Nepal, and I'm a law student. I'm studying law in Thailand currently. As we all know the topic, I would like to start with introduction. This research study is centralized on rape. Rape is one of the most heinous gender-based violence and stand as a global problem. Gender-based violence is also of ferocities embedded in gender inequalities. Gender-based violence largely contribute to the violation of human rights. Well, the objective of this study is to answer how to administer justice for the rape victims and what are the impediments or hurdles in the course of administering justice for the rape victims. Well, methods and materials used in these studies are chiefly news and news columns because they are the most available source, as the rape cases, unlike other legal cases, are either not litigated or simply dismissed or mismanagement at local levels. Statistics and data, commentaries on legal rules and court judgments, etc. supplement secondarily as a research material. Well, the result of this study are to administer justice for the rape victims. Firstly, we have to frame the possible forms of justice that can be granted to the rape victims. This work of framing justice for the rape victim is not an easy task because the notion of justice itself is ambiguous. However, one of the possible forms of justice can be strict liability on state, which means the state or government has to take wholesale or full responsibility for the rape survivors. Note that victims and or rape victims and rape survivors are of different conditions. So I would like to ask the adjudicators from Indonesia, Bangladesh, should we advocate for international convention to establish international treaty and by which all the states will be fully responsible for the for the rape survivors. The other result of this study is a major hurdle in the administering of justice for the rape victim is the political mismanagement of the rape cases at local level only. The adjudication or mediation at the local levels mostly miscarriage the justice for the rape victims. Similarly, declining moral and civic education in the schools and then in the society is causing rape and hindering justice for the rape victims. See, most of the rape cases, they are just managed at local level only because the way to go court is really long, the court procedures, and there is also the thing like a family prestige and so on and so on. Also, in the name of modernizing our society and our civilization, the society is really going away from the basic morality and civic duties that every members of the society they bear naturally. Now, the conclusion of this study is very bitter. The bitter conclusion is rape has become a constant threat than simply a crime. A rape can happen everywhere at any time. So when there is a constant threat of rape, then the solution to mitigate such threat is to teach and mentor boys and girls about morality and civic duties they bear. Because law comes into play only after rape. Well, about justice, what kind of justice is really workable for the rape victims? Giving money, helping with legal aids, or what? I don't know what kind of justice it will work, but for personally, what I can say is the justice for the rape victims is no rape at all. We should stop rape culture and we should stop rape. Thank you for listening.
Dear participants, please make sure that your camera is on.
Serial number 7, MG Monirul Islam Ridoy and Tahmima Nur Turin may present your presentation. And make sure that your camera is on.
Am I visible?
Please, serial number again.
Organizer, say the serial number again.
Serial number 7.
Thank you.
May we start?
Monirul Islam Ridoy and Tahmima Nur Turin may present your presentation.
Am I audible?
Yes, you were.
Okay, we are starting. So, on October 31, 2020, we witnessed another family burst into tears as the coffin of Nodi Akhtar arrived at Hazrat Shah Jalal International Airport in Bangladesh capital Dhaka from Saudi Arabia. From January to October, 63 dead bodies of female workers were returned to Bangladesh. Khairul Islam, Deputy Director of the Expatriate Welfare Desk at Shah Jalal Airport, confirmed. From this, we can assume how serious the gender-based violence has become globally.
Assalamualaikum, I am Tahmima Nur Turin.
And I am Mohammad Monirul Islam from Chattogram, Bangladesh. Our poster focuses on gender-based violence faced by female migrant workers. A research by International Organization for Migration finds 65 out of 100 female migrant workers suffers gender-based violence. And unconsciously, from domestic workers, they become sex slave and eventually kicked into coffin, which we can see in the upper left of the poster.
Drawing your kind attention to the upper right, we will find what kind of GBV they suffer. One kind of GBV is verbal and physical abuse. A former domestic worker in Guatemala said of her employer, he would explain things to me with blows.
He would pinch me, he would hit me on the head because I needed money, so I had to stay on. They faced sexual violence. One Bangladeshi woman said, my employer's son always came in whenever I was in the washroom, kitchen, rooftop, veranda. He used to touch my breasts and other sensitive parts of my body. There was nothing I could do. They suffer punishing working hours and substandard living. One Ethiopian domestic worker in Lebanon said, the employers considered us as slaves. The household task was endless. We are overwhelmed and consumed by it. We are deprived of sleep all the time. Many of them did not even get their wages. Domestic workers reported often being paid less than promised or not at all. They even get no help. Ugandan domestic workers reported that when a problem arose between them and their employer, the employer would return workers to recruitment and placement agencies where they were beaten and raped by agents before being returned to the employer's house. All the narrations are taken from the publication Demanding Justice Women, Migrant Workers Fighting GBV of Global Alliance Against Trafficking Women from Ghetto Organization.
In the lower left, we see the dynamics that are forcing them into precarious work with little choice. Those are lack of jobs in their countries of origin, debt, economic hardship, and the breadwinner role falling to women. And in the lower right of the poster, we are seeing the measures which can make it stop. At first, we have to ensure migrant women's safety. Projects like Safe and Fair Realizing Women Migrant Workers' Rights and Opportunities in the ASEAN region by ILO could help. More initiatives like this should be taken. Then, then there should be introduction of preventive legal measures. Though there are a good number of laws about this issue, those are not working. It is high time to implement strong preventive legal measures. Another way to stop is holding states liable. If the international laws could strictly operate the circulation of importing and exporting manpower, holding states liable for the failure to stop GVP and take action like imposing sanctions on importing manpower, it is very possible to stop this issue. At least raising awareness globally can help stop gender-based violence.
We believe we came equal into this world and equal shall we go out of it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Participators are requested to turn on the camera. Serial number 7, Noreen Jahan and Snigdha Dash Choiti may present your presentation. Serial number 7, Noreen Jahan.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Assalamu alaikum everyone and honorable judges. I'm Noreen from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Here I'm presenting our poster, which topic was gender-based violence and justice for the rape victims. And gender-based violence refers to harmful acts directed at an individual based on their gender. It is rooted in gender inequality. The abuse of power and harmful norms. Gender-based violence is a serious violation of human rights and a life-threatening health and protection issue. Both women and men can be victims of gender-based violence. And however, it is mostly experienced by women. That's why in our presentation is focused on women. Gender-based violence is affects to the men, the third gender, but also strongly affects to the girls and women. And they affects in physical violence, socioeconomic violence, trafficking, domestic violence, and online harassment, and also child marriage. And according to research conducted in 2014 about violence against women in Bangladesh, women age of group 20 to 39 found to be most exposed group to espousal physical violence. Among them, more than 50% women needed physical treatment. On the other hand, 26% of women experienced more than twice, excluding 4% who experienced more than 6 times. Psychological violence against married women is extremely common and persistently practiced by their husband in Bangladesh. As ever, 80% have ever experienced it in their lifetime. The rate is even higher in rural areas. And there are more statistics about violence against women reported in a gender-sensitive manner on a COVID-19 and be inclusive to the voices of women and girls. And all over the world, gender-based violence can be prevented. So how can we reduce violence? As follows: criminalize violence against women, make violence unacceptable, address gender inequality in violence in children, promote healthy childhood, and promote respectful relationship. And by increase our social awareness by our act, need religious practice, family interaction, then gender-based violence can be reduced. So we know violence is preventable, and now we know how. Let's work together and stop them. Thank you all and honorable judges. That's all. And my rest of part will describe my teammate. Thank you.
Thank you so much for giving me the floor. I'm Snigdha from Dhaka. Rape. Rape is very offensive crime, but it is very difficult to give proper justice to the rape victim because there are political and social influences. Society blames victims for rape incident. In our neighbor country, India, where a rape case is reported in every 21 minutes, not every case can see the lights of justice. Just drafting a better law will not be enough. It is society which has to change. There is no magical formulas to deal with the problem of rape. Laws alone may not be able to solve the problem in a society which treats its women as second-class citizens and regards them inferior to men. They say until social attitudes change and women are respected and treated as equals, the gains from the protest will be short-lived. It is to be noted that law and order can at best award strange punishment to the culprit in no time and ensure justice for the victim while ensuring proper administration of justice. However, law alone cannot commit ethics norms, and for prevention of sexual violence, every man, woman, and every single person has to come forward to break the generational cycle of misogyny and be part of the solution. Thank you so much.
Participators are requested to turn on their camera. Now, serial number 8, Rukaya Akon, may present your presentation. Serial number 8, Rukaya Akon, may present your presentation and make sure that your camera.
Thank you. May I audible to everyone?
Yes, you are.
I will not be another flower picked up for my beauty and left to die. I will be wild, difficult to find, and impossible to forget, says Irene Van Buren. When 35% of women worldwide have experienced sexual violence by their partners, 38% of women are murdered by their intimate partners, 200 million of women have experienced female genital mutilation, and 15 million girls have experienced forced prostitution. And in 28 countries, only males are recognized as perpetration of sexual violence, not female. Then we can say that it is not about the beauty of male or female. It is about disordered brain, gender imbalance, gender inequalities, disregard of human rights, less women empowerment, education, and economical problem. And you may already know what am I talking about. Assalamu alaikum, respected judges, and very good morning to all. I am Rukaya Akon from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Today, our topic is gender-based violence and justice for rape victims. And in my poster, I am trying to show that the worldwide problems, the consequences, and how can we prevent it. I already presented the percentage and the reason for gender-based violence. To make it more clear, we have to know what is gender-based violence. Gender-based violence is an umbrella term for any harmful act that is perpetrated against a person's will who may be male or female, boys or girls, or gender diverse people. Gender-based violence may be rape, human trafficking, child abuse, forced prostitution, early marriage, etc. In USA, the cost of domestic violence is 10 to 67 billion US dollar, and in Canada, it is 1.6 billion dollar. 45 to 81% working women in European Union have experienced sexual harassment. In France, 95% of victims of violence are women. So we cannot blame only the poverty and education problem, unemployment problem for the gender-based violence. To prevent gender-based violence, we need ending discrimination between male and female, developing and resourcing national plans, providing comprehensive services, applying more laws. Then come to the point of justice for rape victims. We are standing in 2020, but we can accept the rapist in our society, but we cannot accept the rape victims in our society. So we have to take proper steps such as imprisonment with compensation. Every nation have to provide physical, psychological treatment and economical support. Increasing women empowerment and of education. Male rape should be recognized and marriage with rapists should be stopped. Article 2E of the CEDW Convention plainly explained to ensure women protection. States have to take appropriate measures to stop gender-based violence. Article 27 of Geneva Convention related to protection of rape, prostitution, or any form of assault. UNHCR, WHO, UNICEF, UNAID, and more international and national organizations are continuously strengthening coordination and programming to protect gender-based violence. At last, I want to suggest some lines from Kavita Ramdas. We need women who are so strong, they can be gentle, so educated, they can be humble, so passionate, they can be rational, and so disciplined, they can be free. And I believe one day we will get a new sun, blue sky, and we can take a fresh breath without hearing the violence. Thank you, judges, and all participants. Thank you for hearing me.
With due respect, can I say something? Hello?
Organizer, please carry on.
Yes, you may.
Well, I want to humbly request that adjudicators that my partner didn't able to tell her part. So if you kindly allow us 2 minutes to complete her part, it's up to the adjudicators to give us a chance. There was a technical problem on her.
Dear adjudicators, ma'am, Christian ma'am, Ashok sir,
Give us
Pia,
some moment.
that was also instructed that to accommodate and smooth internet connection. However, one of our participants partner, because of her personal internet connection disturbance, she doesn't able to present herself. So now she is requesting to the adjudicator, though it's our rules that the participants need to ensure their smooth internet connection and organizers will not going to be liable for that. However, he is requesting to the adjudicators. So Ashok sir, Christian ma'am, and Pia, could you like to give 2 minutes to his partner?
I have no problem. I can understand that you can try and guarantee your internet connection as much as possible, but some things are out of your hands. So I have no problem spending another 2 minutes to listen.
Ashok sir and ma'am, can you give 2 minutes to her?
Yeah. It's okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Serial number 5, Faiza Kamal Munmun, may present your presentation.
Faiza Kamal Munmun, please only 2 minutes, only your part, okay?
And make sure that your camera is on. Serial number 5, Faiza Kamal Munmun.
It's the wrong poster again.
Faiza Kamal Munmun. Please present your presentation within 2 minutes. Faiza Kamal Munmun.
Well, in that case, may I continue?
We gave the chance, the adjudicator gave the chance to your partner, and we also present the presentation again. Can she join? Can she able to present herself?
She's in the meeting, but she's not responding. I don't know.
Hello.
Okay, she's here.
Okay. Faiza, please finish your presentation, only your part, within 2 minutes. Faiza, can you hear me?
Am I audible?
Yes, Faiza, finish your presentation within 2 minutes.
Okay, good morning, judges. Now I'm going to summarize the recommendation part of my presentation. First of all, I want to focus two of the Sustainable Development Goals: gender equality and peace, justice, and strong institutions. Bangladesh lags behind far in the Gender Equality Index, due to which violence against women is increasing day by day. Rape culture is held up by the lack of law addressing violence against women and discriminatory marriage, divorce, child custody. The very important thing is witness protection scheme. Person who has committed rape already has an advantage of power. In that case, the rape victim file a case. He puts herself in risk, as there have been priority of cases where the rapist threatened the girl and her family if they involve the police. To ensure justice, it is important to establish a witness protection scheme to make sure that victims and witnesses can get legal protection. To end rape. To end rape, perpetrators must be held accountable. By prosecuting sexual violence cases, we recognize these crimes and send a strong message of zero tolerance. The recent law has ensured death penalty for the rapist, but won't be effective if strong institutions are not functioning. Besides, gender equality is the cause of gender-based violence. We should follow the instruction of executed the two goals. Then we have to focus on female education.
Time's up. Dear participator, your time's up.
Thank you.
Well, voila, the grand finale is done. So Rukaya Akun was our last participant of today's grand finale. So thank you and congratulations all the participants. I would like to request all the participants, please follow the instruction, turn on your camera. And I would like to also see a thumbs up sign from all of you, so that yes, all the best, because we will announce the result in the grand closing ceremony. And also I would like to pay my respect towards our respected adjudicators of this grand finale. Now, before we moving forward and see you all again in the grand closing ceremony, and hope to see the first, second, third, who will be that one, we will know that later. But for now, we will moving forward to our adjudicators. I would like to request our adjudicators, Mr. Ashok Kumar sir, for giving us some opinion, for giving us your comment about all this poster that might help our participants so that they can be happy, because ultimately from them only one, first, second, third, there will be three. So I would like to request sir to give some comments about today's grand finale of International Poster Presentation on Gender-Based Violence and Justice for the Rape Victim.
Thank you, Shanti. I'm glad to meet everybody, and everybody are trying to more gathered information in here. But poster, I am telling about poster. Poster is a completely visual items for all over all the of the world. So I am telling all participants further in future doing work with the visuals. This is my desire to every participant. Thank you very much. Shanchi, I am confused about about telling result to here.
Sir, no, sir, we are not. We're not going to disclose the result here.
Oh,
We will
okay.
disclose the result in the grand closing ceremony.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you, sir.
I'm glad to all judges and organizers because it's a tremendous job for our country and nation and all over the world, and this is the tough job in the webinar judges, the judgment and presentation, and also everybody are communicated in here. So I finished my just little talk. I'm not really habituated to the English.
Sir,
But
we will glad if you can say some comments in Bangla. We will glad. I'm sure our participants will be so happy.
আমি বাংলায় বলছি একটু, সেটি হচ্ছে আমরা যে কোনো ডিজাইন ড্রয়িং এবং এই ডিজাইন সম্পর্কে কোনো কিছু করতে গেলেই ভিজুয়ালস দৃশ্যমান যে বিষয়গুলো থাকে সেগুলোকে আমরা প্রাধান্য দিয়ে থাকি। এখানে আপনারা অনেক করেছেন, অনেকেই কাজটা করেছেন, কিন্তু টোটাল স্ট্যাটিস্টিক্স অনেক বেশি, যেটা রিডেবল ম্যাটেরিয়াল যেখানে বেশি, সেটা আসলে ডিজাইনের দিক থেকে বা ভিজুয়াল আইটেমের দিক থেকে এটা একটু সেকেন্ডারি পজিশনে থাকে। নর্মালি আমাদের এখানে জেন্ডার বেসড ভায়োলেন্স অ্যান্ড জাস্টিস ফর দ্য রেপ ভিকটিমস, এই টপিক্সের উপরে যে পোস্টার কম্পিটিশন আমরা করেছি, এই পোস্টার কম্পিটিশনে আমি আরেকটু আশা করেছিলাম ভিজুয়ালি আমাদের টোটাল কন্টেন্ট যেটা আছে এবং কন্টেন্টের সাথে যে স্ট্যাটিস্টিক্স আছে সবটাই একটা অর্গানাইজ ভিজুয়ালসের ভিতর থেকে আমরা অ্যাট এ গ্লান্স দেখতে পারবো। সো সেক্ষেত্রে কেউ চেষ্টা করেছেন এবং সেক্ষেত্রে কেউ সফল হয়েছেন, অবশ্যই সফল হয়েছেন এবং রেজাল্টই সেটা বলে দিবে। তো থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ। আমি সবার কাছে কৃতজ্ঞ এবং সবাইকে বলছি যে আপনারা এই কাজগুলো আরো করবেন এবং এই কাজগুলোর ভিতর থেকে আমাদের সামাজিক দায়বদ্ধতার জায়গায় এবং আমাদের সমাজের সচেতনতার জায়গায় প্রত্যেকটা মানুষকে সচেতন করতে হলে এই ধরনের কাজগুলোর ভিতর থেকে আসলে আমাদের এগুতে হবে, সমাজকে এগুতে হবে। সব ধরনের ক্রাইম থেকে মানুষকে মুক্ত রাখার জন্য আমাদের সৃজনশীল কাজগুলো অনেক বেশি প্রয়োজন হয়ে পড়ে। আর এই কাজটার ভিতরে যত বেশি আমরা ইনভলভ হব, যত বেশি আমরা এই কাজটা করার জন্য নিজেদেরকে নিবেদিত করব, ততটা আমরা ভালোভাবে আমাদের সমাজকে গড়তে পারবো। থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ।
অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ স্যার আপনার সুন্দর বক্তব্যের জন্য, এবং আমি আশা করছি আমাদের পার্টিসিপেন্টরা অবশ্যই এই টিপস গুলো মাথায় রাখবে ভবিষ্যতে আরো ইন্টারন্যাশনাল আরো বড় বড় পর্যায়ে যখন তারা পার্টিসিপেট করবে। Now I would like to request our favorite Christian Richardson ma'am for few words. Ma'am, we'll be glad to hear your observation and few words towards our participants about their posters.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Shanji, for your overwhelming introduction. First, thank you to all the participants for the wonderful presentation. The posters show that they have really done their homework. They have researched on the issue of gender-based violence and justice for rape victims. And one thing about the posters, they are very informative. One thing about posters is like, what do we want to do with the posters? Is it for teaching purpose, or is it for public circulation, where the general people who do not have an idea of the law, do not understand gender-based violence, whether they can learn something from the posters. So I would like to tell the participants that when you are presenting a poster, you have to keep in mind also that this is, it should be general, not the law academicians and the law students only. This is an issue which is concerned in our society, and one of the core issues of our society. So we should use this to educate the general people, to inform them, to enlighten them. So I think these posters also need to be more visual and give a message to someone who has no idea about the law or no idea about gender-based violence. At least they can learn something. So besides, together, we keep both together, the informative part and also the more visualization part. I think both of this, if it can go into the poster, these posters become much more towards the general people. It's more acceptable. And like something is, there's a saying like, when I see something, I remember it. It stays in my mind. So information, we hear a lot of information, we forget most of it, but the picture, it stays in the mind. So I think this is one of the things the participants should keep in mind. But besides, they were nice posters. We learned a lot about it. There was a lot of information, and as I said, they have done their homework well. So thank you, participants.
Thanks, ma'am. Thanks a lot for being with us and for your valuable time and words. I'm definitely sure participants will definitely going to follow both of your advices. Now, our last adjudicator, Pia, and I would like to request Pia, please say some few words towards our participants about today's grand finale. Pia, the floor is yours.
Thanks again, Shanchi. And I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for having me here and giving me the opportunity to listen to all of your wonderful presentations. I agree with what both the adjudicators said before, that the posters are really...
Oh, Pia, you are muted.
Muted.
Okay,
I was just saying that I agree with both
Hello?
of the previous adjudicators that you've definitely done your homework. I'm really impressed by the extent of information that was shared today. And I know it's an almost impossible task within 4 minutes. I'd have to say I'm really, really pleasantly surprised by how also progressive the presentations were as well. I know we have a lot of men in this conversation too, and it's a difficult conversation to have, but I'm really inspired by what was shared today. And I'm particularly like the fact that a lot of you covered a more of also a progressive view on gender as well, looking at the rights of transgender people, as that's also part of this conversation too. I also like that a few of the students also looked at the root causes of sexual and gender-based violence, because especially when you're working in the field, you can have all of these international laws, you can have all of these domestic laws, but unless you really look at the root causes, it's really difficult to apply these. And I think our friend from Nepal, thank you for joining us, also asked about the different international laws. Our organization has a lot of information on sexual and gender-based violence, research, but also talking more in an academic sense. So, you know, in the international law, there's many conventions like the Convention on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women. There's also the Convention on the Rights of Child, Geneva Convention. So there's so much information to be shared, and I'm just really impressed by how condensed it was. And as I also agree, the purpose of the posters also needs to be considered. You know, if you share like a graph, unless you explain it and it's just on the poster, it doesn't have the weight that you'd want it to do. So really consider what you're putting on, and is that going to bring some benefit to the person who's looking at it as well. But thank you so much again, and it was a really great presentation, and I'm very happy I joined.
Thank you, Pia. Thank you for your wonderful tips. I hope our participants will definitely going to follow all of our respected adjudicators' tips and tricks for their future betterment. And I would like to request our respected adjudicator, sir, ma'am, please be with us, Pia, at 7 p.m. Bangladesh time in our grand closing ceremony. We will be glad to have you. The students will be happy to have you too. Participants and respected adjudicators, here the grand finale of the International Poster Presentation on Gender-Based Violence and Justice for the Rape Victim is finished. So now I would like to request our adjudicators to be with us, please, sir and ma'am, at 7 p.m. Bangladesh time, if you have your time. We will be so happy, and participants, we will see you again because the result announcement will be there. So I know all of you will be there. So hope to see you soon at 7 p.m. Bangladesh time at the grand closing ceremony of Second International Law Fest. By saying this, here I'm signing off. Sir and ma'am, here our grand finale is complete. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Shanchi. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Pia.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you, Shanchi.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Pia. Thank you, Ashok Karmaker, sir. This is Nasrin from NILS Bangladesh.
Yeah.
Hi, Pia.
Hi, Nasrin. How are you? We'll have to continue chatting in another platform.
Yeah.
But it's nice to hear from
Many
you.
days after.
All right. Thank you again. Thank you, everyone.
Okay,
Bye.
come back soon. We are waiting for you.
Thanks, Nasrin. Bye, everyone.
Ashok sir, hope to meet you somewhere.